Okay, my name's Zakashi, guys, and in this video here I'm sure you want to know whether you should summon for Goku and Frieza, given that it's the 5th anniversary. But regardless, I'm sure most of you have actually already made your mind up. The one thing I want to do advise for is that you actually take in content on the internet before you summon, because I'm telling you, you don't want to feel regret for a unit that you went deep on. Now, before I get into this video, how many Chrono Crystals do you guys have for the anniversary? Are you ready? Are you not ready? How are you feeling? Do you think Go Frieza's fire? What's your opinions? Drop any type of comment to let me know about your mood for this 5th anniversary. Now, we just seen the preview for this unit, right? And they are insane. They look insane. Everything about them is just dope. Even Jiren is dope. The side characters, everything is dope. I'm not playing the sound because I'm not trying to get copyright claimed, but you can see overall it looks beautiful. Everybody loves it. Now, we're going to be getting into whether you should summon for this unit. They are beautiful on glance, but their kit is what really matters if you want to go far with them, if you are not just a collector. So with that being said, hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this video, man. If you haven't already, make sure to press that subscribe button, man. We're on this grind to 50,000 subscribers. All my social media links at the bottom of the screen, so check me out on all of those. But yeah, not to hold you guys up any longer, let's actually get into the video now. Alright, so before we go into this video, actually talking about the actual banner, I'm just going to give you some general information that you should always have it in mind before you summon. So the amount of Chrono Crystals you have is very important, because if you're thinking about it, if you summon just a tiny bit, your chances are you're not going to get the unit because you only have a little bit of Chrono Crystals. You might want to take the risk, of course, but again, the more Chrono Crystals you have, the better you do. I always like to say 20k Chrono Crystals is the most optimal, simply because 20,000 Chrono Crystals is where the cap is. You can't go over 20,000 through actual exchange shop or shop, so definitely 20k as the max, or like the good point, let's say. Outside of that, I always advise to watch showcases before summoning. You guys are not content creators. Most of you guys are free to play, so there's no reason for you to rush into summoning. The banner's not going to disappear on the first day. Whether you wait 24 hours or even 72, the banner's still going to be there, and it should be in the same state. So you can watch showcases, let it marinate in PvP to get your own actual opinion on whether the unit is actually of worth if you plan to use them in PvP and want to be satisfied with them. Because regardless of if you summon straight away or later, you're still going to get the unit. The difference is you just don't get to use them on the first day. But really and truly, if you want to use the unit and you're going to enjoy them, it doesn't matter if it's the first day or the third day, does it? You just want to get your worth out of it. Cool. Moving on from that, you could also wait until the very last day. If you're very not sure, you could wait until the last day of the banner, so that way you actually have to decide on that day. You get a lot more days to think about it. You could see how they play out in PvP, whether people think they're OP or not. You get all these options around you, so definitely that is an option as well. The last two things I want to talk about is events. So a lot of people summon for events. Like if you have the unit, they're going to be obviously beneficial in raid. You're going to be having an easier time in raid, so having them is amazing, and also the drop rates and things like that. So obviously, naturally, having them is going to be of a benefit to you. But you have to think about it like this: you're losing CC to gain CC, so do you really want to just summon for them so you can have an easier time in events? I don't think that's personally very smart, but to each their own anyways. The last thing here, you want to consider the near future. This is only the first part of the anniversary. There's most likely going to be 2 other parts with units not necessarily the same caliber as this, because this is like the best LF in the game in my opinion. But of course, they should be high standard units for sure, and most likely an ultra in the next month or the month after that. So with that being said, consider the near future, because this unit here is going to be a big asset, which I'm going to explain in the kit, to USS and the game out overall. But generally speaking, there might be something that drops next month or the month after that might have a more game breaking kit that's just way more valuable, and then all of a sudden your thoughts on this unit is just, it doesn't even matter anymore. That happens all the time, so be very careful. And these are just like the pre-tips before we actually get into discussing this unit and their depth. Okay, so you guys probably want to know about their kit, and I'm not gonna actually read the whole kit. There's no way I'm making you guys sit through all of this. Look at this. We're Dragon Ball fans, man. Reading all of it, I already read all of it, so you don't have to read all of it. I'm just gonna point out the key things about their kit that's very important. So let me actually go to my Twitter page, because I did a quick summary, right? And this is just my opinion, obviously, because they're not out yet, but I feel like this is pretty accurate for what they are. So what you want to know is that they have an anti-rush mechanic. That's pretty much the biggest thing about them. So if I actually scroll up here, you can see I'm scrolling like forever. What you really want to know is Goku and Frieza has a unique gauge that starts at 100% and gradually drains, but as long as it's at least 1%, a counter will activate when the enemy activates a Rise and Rush. So this character's most impressive feature is that they have the ability to counter Rise and Rushes. Now what you want to know is what conditions does the Rise and Rush counter activate under. So here you have, it says here, where while the character is in one of the following states, if unique gauge is at 1% or above, consumes entire unique gauge to counter enemies rise and rush, slide moving or standing still, sidestepping left or right, receiving an attack, changing cover. We have these things here where pretty much all the time it's going to activate. Even on a regular cover change, the rise and rush cover counter is going to work. It's insane. It's literally Ultra Gogeta Blue on steroids. But the one thing that you need to know is that if you are cover changing, the counter will not activate. So for example, I rise and rush you and you are using hit. You switch from hit to go FRIEZA on the cover change, but I rise and rush you with Ultra Gogeta Blue after popping a green card. That means I have cover nullification. Here it says counter will not activate when changing cover if the enemy has the buff effect, nullifies enemy special actions that activate when changing cover. So it's only on the cover change, not just if I'm fighting Go FRIEZA and I'm standing still next to them, like hitting them and then I rise and rush, the counter will activate. It's only on the cover change, so that's good to know. Another thing that happens is that if your last stand and your gauge hasn't disappeared or you haven't used it, you will also get 100% full gauge again. So we don't know how long the gauge gradually decreases. So if you want to know how it works, the gauge starts at 100% at the start of the battle, and every time account or every so often it's going to keep going down. It's going to keep going down, but we don't know how long it lasts. That's the difference of whether it will be amazing or really, really bad. If it lasts 20 time accounts, you only get protected for the first 20 time accounts. That's not especially good, but it could last 100 time accounts or even more than that. So then it would actually be of value for a very long time, keeping you rush protected, you know? That's dope. Cool. Another big thing to note is that Goku and Frieza are not the reverse tag switches like that we normally get. They actually have different elements completely. So Goku's purple and Frieza is blue. The first tag character without reverse elements, Goku is purple and Frieza is blue. Pretty good thing to note, because usually when it's the reverse, for example, if it was just Goku being purple and they're purple and they had a tag switch, I mean a regular tag switch with the reverse element, they would go from being advantageous against green to weak against green but strong against yellow, which they're disadvantageous to normally. But this is different. So because Goku's purple, he would be advantageous over green and weak against yellow, but switching to blue, nobody goes strong against yellow now. So with blue, you are strong against red but weak against green. Bear that in mind, is very different to a reverse. It's not the same thing as normal tag units, so it's actually kind of dope. Another thing I want to point out, just slightly different, Goku on his strike and blast, he gets buff stacking every single time, which is dope. But Frieza, he actually gets blast arm on his strike and his blast gets nothing. The blue cards obviously is their LF, so they actually nullify endurance every single time. The green card with Goku, it's like a grab. With Frieza, you get a vanishing gauge back, which is pretty dope. With Goku, you get draw speed, which is obviously different. Here we go, draw speed. Those are like the biggest things I found that I wanted to point out of everything in their kit. Obviously on top of that, they obviously have a strike cover change, and not obviously, but they have many tags, which is obvious. So because it's Frieza, you're gonna get the like Lineage of Evil, Transforming Warrior, Otherworld Warrior. Goku, you're gonna get Saiyan Son Family, Universe Rep. I forgot to mention Frieza Force as well. So yeah, bear that in mind. There's a bunch of tags which is going to make them very, very effective. I'm not going to go too much further into the kit, but those are the key factors of the kit that I noticed, and those are the ones that I want to mention. If you want to read the kit, I'll put it in the description or the comment section if you want to go into it in depth, but I'll also probably upload a kit breakdown video if I have enough time. But for the most part, it's pretty much just about the fact that they have the anti-rush and the small differences in between Frieza and Goku's kit. Oh, one more thing I should probably point out, you get rewarded for tag switching, so they get gradually stronger for the more times you tag switch. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so I think it's time I give my opinion, and honestly, I think this unit is very much worth it. They are going to make Universe Rep as a tag the most anti-rush protective team ever. This is going to be looking like Regen back in the day, because you cannot rush this team. If you try to rush Goku and Frieza, they're going to counter it. If you try rush 17, he's gonna go endurance, you're not taking out his endurance, so at least then it's fine. Ultra hit is gonna time skip your ass, no delay. This unit here needs to be summoned for if you're running Universe Rep. If you do not summon for this unit and you're running Universe Rep, there's something wrong with you. Also, hit is returning on the side, which is another issue in itself, but we're talking about Go Frieza here. Now, would I say it's worth skipping Go Frieza? There are reasons why you should, and I feel like it's very likely we're gonna get an Ultra, which is just gonna blow this unit out of the water. it's so likely that that's the case. Also, I want to point out that this is a tag unit. Now here I'm going to speak in assumptions. Tag units have a good history of not being the tankiest. Exceptions I'll only put out there would probably be Goku and Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4s, Monkey Bros, simply because they have a team full of defensive menaces. All their Z abilities are insane, the equips are insane. Not to say Universe Rep doesn't have that, but I want to point out specifically that tag units usually come squishy. So if it's the case for this unit here, you can expect that people might not be satisfied at least at a low star level. But overall, Universe Rep is already very stacked. They have all the equips lined up. They had the best run similar to GT literally last year. On top of that, the units just all in place, perfect elements for all of them. This team here, Universe Rep as a whole, Gold Frieza is the missing piece. And let's not even talk about the other Sparkings that have dropped, or the Frieza plays that could be an addition to the team. Gold Frieza is a must if you're running Universe Rep, but outside of that, I don't think it's that necessary to have them. But remember, they're gonna be good regardless. They're gonna be boosted. You can arts boost them if you want to. Overall, they nullify rushes on the team. They do actually have a slight support system where they actually buff Universe Rep, but that doesn't really matter. It's not that big of a deal because you can just run them on any other team as a leader slot. The tags are various. You can run them on Saiyans, put them on leader slot, you know. For Lineage of Evil, LOE guys are gonna come out the woodwork, so there's a lot of tags, so it makes it very profitable to summon on this unit because you can use them almost anywhere. And I feel like that's what's so special about this Goku and Frieza tag unit in response to a lot of other tag units where, I don't know, Gokus and Vegetas would just be Saiyans and God Ki or whatever, or movies or whatever tag they really have. Trunks and Vegeta had a lot more variety. Tag droids were just androids pretty much, so it's nothing too crazy. But Goku and Frieza, that's a lot of tags, a lot of teams, a lot of places. So I think it's actually very profitable to summon on this unit. So I actually advise to get at least maybe 1 copy, 2 copies. But you also have to think about how valuable those 1 or 2 copies would be for you. But I don't think it's ridiculous if anybody plans on skipping this unit. Like I said, on the cover change, the rush isn't that big of a deal. So if they're also squishy, they're gonna get destroyed. They don't have endurance. So, you know, but they already have a bunch of kings in their kit that make them insane. Cover nullifications as well. Kira's, it's a tag unit. It's a tag unit. It's really good. So don't just sleep on it for sake. They're gonna be good, but I'm saying not everybody needs them, but their team overall will probably be the best team in the game, and there's nothing you can do about it at this point. But yeah, man, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. I tried to give you guys the best tips for the should you summon, so that you guys don't go down the worst rabbit hole. You want to have the best odds of actually pulling whatever you want and actually come out on top, whether you decide to summon or don't. So let me know what you're doing. Like I said, let me know how many chronicles you guys have. But I'm gonna leave the video like that, guys. I appreciate you guys for watching. My name is Zakashi, guys. Good luck on your summons if you are summoning, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.